Ein Tor. Es reicht mir jetzt.
Snickers?
Hör auf damit.
Niggers.
Elfmeter? Ben, ich mache jetzt einen Fallschirm-Powershot. Ja, du Hurensohn. Digga. Digga. Es reicht jetzt! Ey, mein Kopf! Ich verlasse jetzt die Part. Ich verlasse. Es reicht jetzt, Ritti. Oh
Oh,
nein.
Alles klar.
Digga. 3, 2, 1.
Nee.
Piss dich! Piss dich! Ich hab mir in die Hosen gekackt. Oh mein Gott. Oh mein Gott. Digga, hat er uns verlassen? Digga, wie kann
So. Uh. Oh, die Schwächeanfällen. Welche Felder?
Danke.
Meine Nase. Okay. Oh, Junge. Wo gehe ich immer da hin?
Wir kriegen den!
So, da war so ein Leid. Ui, ich gar nicht gesehen.
Ist das jetzt echt? Du solltest fliehen.
Das war ein Kopfschuss. Das kannst du nicht. Ja, geil. Endlich. Krieg ich die. Ja, Pistole. Doch wollte ich. Echt das Rezept hoch. Nicht die. Und so. Super. Ja, das mit Tina? Alles klar. Das mit Jess. Hey.
Vorsichtig. Ja. Sieht hier jemand? Bei dem Tresen!
Alles klar, Digga. Junge.
Okay.
Habe ich jetzt gedrückt? Also, where? Spielen. Also, eins. Ah, okay. Filter, Kategorie brauche ich nicht. Wir können die. Also, ist das Ende. Ja, Mann. Extras. Verlorene Levels. Ach komm, mach ich mal jetzt. Oh, ah. Jetzt.
You're about to play an unfinished level from The Last of Us Part 2. The reason we added this section is there are a few sequences, and we picked the 3 of the best ones, that we cut from the game. You know, often we build a game that's much bigger than what ends up being the final product. They were months away from being finished, but we wanted to give you an insight of what it's like when we build a game, because often we have this whole thing constructed and it doesn't have final art or audio or dialogue. And here you get to see the building blocks of what it's like when we first string a bunch of these levels together. This is the intro to the first deleted level, and this one is the roughest of the 3. We wanted to show more of how Jackson operates. So this is the festival where Ellie ultimately kisses Dina. The sequence would have come very late in the game as a flashback sequence while you're in the farm with Dina. And we wanted to show what is the rest of Jackson doing, and wanted to put on the stick, make it interactive. So you could see when you're outside, there are all these almost like carnival games that you can play. You could mix drinks, you could play with these kids that are playing a sort of clicker Marco Polo, sit down and listen to conversations, and all the different interactions were first or second pass, very, very early passes. The building blocks are there, but nothing is final. And ultimately, while we were very excited by the sequence, it's pretty fun and lighthearted. It just slowed things too much as we're barreling towards the end of the story at this point. So Again, reminder, rough, missing audio, missing animation, missing gameplay tweaks, missing dialogue, but pretty representative of what it would have been. So, enjoy.
Originally, this level was going to transition us to farm. We would go all the way through to the dance, where Ellie and Dina share their first kiss. Then we would play through farm, and when Ellie plays the guitar at night, she would remember the Seth incident. So, the opening for this was a little tricky. We needed it to match at least a little what you might expect emotionally coming from prior beats, because we were already purposefully disorienting you in time and space. Something we really wanted to do was highlight the way their lives had turned upside down since she went down this path. We had this idea of recontextualizing all of our usual gameplay mechanics that were designed for really violent ends. The workbench, door batches, throwable weapons, and even the infected, which is my personal favorite. Peppered throughout the level, it is not a festival without one of these throwing games. This one, of course, uses our throwable system, where you're often chucking explosive things or stunning things, but for a more wholesome purpose, although some people take this game really seriously. A fun aspect of this is if you did well, you could win a toy here. Ellie would place it in her pocket. If you had done this, you'd find the toy with JJ, the baby, later back at the farm. When we cut this is one of my favorite sections because I think that it achieves both. The makeup artist is pretty simple. It's one of those little in-game scenes we peppered in to make it feel like Ellie had roots in the town. Hallie, our writer, mentioned that in her mind, an ex-girlfriend of Ellie's tattooed her arm to cover up her scar. So we figured this might be the only time we get to see that. We wanted to hint at it and allude to it and make it feel like there had been so much more that had been happening and so much more that Ellie threw away. We use our workbench a lot to make a lot of things that kill and maim and hurt people. Here, we had the silly idea of using the same field, harkening back to the same animations, using the exact same UI to instead fix a drink. Like the workbench, you can pick your base, and then you can add something to it. And at the time, we had some different reactions from Ellie based on how strong you chose to make the drink. Something we wanted to prototype, though, before I got cut, was picking up some ingredients around to add, like a lime or maybe a bottle of someone's favorite whiskey or salt, like you were earning upgrades. We also toyed with having Ellie carry around the drink you made and occasionally sip it. Psychic, this is one of my favorite sections because I think that it achieves both the slice of life aspect of Jackson, while also the dark the world that they live in really is. To attract attention and curiosity, one of the kids was supposed to make this adorable, messed up little clicker impression, and the others would giggle. We tried a version where if you got close enough, the kid might try and follow you a little before turning back. Since clickers are blind and move by echolocation, for this game of messed up, there's a hidden spot at the back that was just a bit of fun. It was highlighting Jackson's normalcy with something we would find in a real world. In the back, you would find teenagers finding some alone time with each other in a dark corner of a party. It was rewarding the player for peeking into a hidden corner, but ultimately redirecting them back to the festival. We also had versions of them smoking weed here, despite Maria's consternation, probably having gotten it from Eugene.
In this second deleted level, which is an extended sequence of the sewers in Seattle, this comes on the heels of where Ellie goes into a building and she survives an attack by stalkers and gets thrown out the window and gets swept away by the current, and then we cut this section that used to be there in the final game. Now you get to play it. So this was a way to get a bit more interesting puzzles, interesting traversal, figure out how Ellie can navigate the sewers with the fighting current. Ultimately, with a lot of these levels and these sequences, the reason why we cut them were for pacing purposes. But here it is for you in this very kind of raw form that part of it will feel finished, parts of it will feel like assets are missing as far as audio animation won't be final. but it's a glimpse into what a game looks like when it's months away from finishing. Enjoy.
Ist klar, wir sind so laut. Glaube ich.
Okay.
This level, internally known as final, was quite long in duration as we had to make Ellie traverse far distance to the opposite side of downtown Seattle. The sewer section originally released the game with approximately 10 minutes more. This was one of the few areas of the game that used water flow as part of a traversal puzzle. The player has to go upstream to use the current to get to the platform to reach the other side. The ladder acts as an immediate goal for the player, but being able to climb up is not going to be so easy. To keep levels interesting and engaging, we alternate between positive and negative values the player experiences. Here, it's a positive to have found the ladder, but then a negative to discover its solution. But then another positive to identify the next short-term goal of the doorway. By alternating between these opposing values, we give players what they expect, but this level, internally known as Final Nora, was quite long in duration as we had to make Ellie traverse far distance to the opposite side of downtown Seattle. The sewer section, originally longer than released the game with approximately 10 minutes more. This was one of the few areas of the game when the players reach the doorway and enter into the room, they're faced with a dead end. The real reason for this dead end room is that on the reversal, when exiting back out of the doorway, players are faced with the route onwards. A pipe that they'd not been able to see when they swept past it on the way in, and suddenly it was hidden from view when on the side platforms. The intention here being that the only option is to go off the standard path in order to search for a way out.
Verdammt, ich muss hier raus.
Throughout the rest of the level, we've also used light to indicate to the player that they were heading in the right direction. At each turn, however, we slowly introduce the player to consider climbing into smaller pipes and crouching in these tight spaces. This is to slowly build up to and encourage the player to react to a tiny space just to reward the player's exploration with a pick-up item. And we love the idea of making Ellie prone through a tiny dirty pipe in order to get out, as it was a great opportunity to use our prone mechanic. The unique camera setup was created to support crawling in these pipes, as the standard prone camera is much higher over the player. We also created custom collision in order for Ellie to manoeuvre in these tight spaces easily. Initially, the oblong collision capsule around the character caused issues crawling around corners. We put extra effort into the custom corner collision, so the movement experience. In order for the player to feel cramped, claustrophobic and desperate, we've been enforcing the traversal mechanics that allow for a tight environment, which promote these feelings. We introduced the use of the squeeze through so that we can keep the player feeling enclosed and tight, but without repeating the same geometry. Here we change from low ceilings and wide walls to high ceilings and tight walls to change the spatial pacing and keep the level from repeating itself.
Echt ein beschissener Ort zum Sterben.
Ja, Eddie, ganz beschissen.
Originally, we had the water line much higher here, so players had to swim through this tight tunnel. As we surface from the water and over the crest of the slope, we reveal what is further in this tunnel. A clicker that sprouted and the fungus has grown on the sides of the pipe. It was great to see people who user-tested this area become increasingly drawn the player towards this pipe, as it seemed to be the route out to space. fairly soon, it's obvious that this path is blocked. If the player goes all the way up to the bars that block
Was?
they are
Und
immediately pick up, so this journey is a little wasted. As we surface from the water and over the crest of the slope, we reveal what's further in this tunnel. A clicker that's sprouted and fungus has grown on the sides of the pipe. It was great to see people who usually tested this area become increasingly worried as we forced the player to squeeze past the fungus and inches away from the clicker's
jetzt
face.
kommt. Oh nein.
Not being sure whether the clicker might be live or attack them. Although we aren't as cruel as to force a clicker attack in such close proximity, we do have a payoff for this moment. This clicker momentarily turned into Joel to show Ellie's PTSD from what happened to Joel at the start of the game. Ultimately, we decided to save this moment for the farm, as it was more impactful there because it could become the centrepiece of that experience. Whereas in the sewers, we weren't able to make it as much of a narrative point and give it the breathing room and reaction time that it deserves, given the tight space.
Oh, Scheiße.
Hat sie gerade einen Joy gesehen?
Using this pipe was retained in the iteration we shipped with, as it's the last of the extreme methods Ellie has to undergo in order to escape the sewers, and what she will go through in her pursuit of revenge. The last ladder climb was quite lengthy, and although we could have trimmed it down to a shorter climb, we liked how this last segment of the journey built anticipation for whether there was success at the top or not after all you've been through. Ultimately, the ladder exits out into the subway station, which is how it connects in the final game. Ellie then has to find her way to the hospital from here, crossing paths with the scars for the first time.
Okay, krass, krass, krass.
For this third and final deleted level, we called the boar hunt sequence. This was a sequence pretty late in the game. It was right after the whole Seattle Abby sequence where Abby spares Ellie. And then we wanted to come back into Ellie's story, but keep it a bit mysterious of how much time has passed, where is Ellie now. So we're coming in on Ellie, and she's following a trail of blood. And we wanted to mirror, in a way, the deer hunt sequence from the first game, and this time do it with a boar. And there's something with Ellie that now she can't let go of this violence. She's pursuing it, even against this innocent animal. This was another opportunity to show how the violence that Ellie has experienced, the violence that she witnessed being afflicted onto Joel, is still sticking with her. And she's still experiencing these PTSD moments. This was a sequence that was pretty far along and was cut pretty late in production. Parts of it are still really rough, but the gameplay, the building blocks were all there. I think you'll have fun to see, like, again, a rough, unfinished sequence that you can play. You can see all the way to the end, and including a cinematic that we end up cutting. And the remnants of the sequence ended up being mentioned in Ellie's journal. So this part of the story that we developed still made its way into the game as kind of optional stuff that you can read about, but here you get to experience it. So as a reminder, this is pretty rough, months away from being finished, but you get to see it now.
Bist du?
So the boar hunt was one of the hardest levels for me to work on. It was a huge challenge with the systems that we had, and we kept trying, but it never felt quite right. Originally, the level happened after the Jackson Festival, which also got cut, but before Farm. Once the festival got cut, in early iterations of the fight, it was more arena-like. The player slowly whittles down the boar's health. Ellie gets more visceral and more vicious. We get a little worried about it. We must have gone through 5 or 6 iterations of the boar fight and all, and every single time it changed pretty drastically. We split it into clear phases, where one was like all long range. We tried another where you're getting close and you get the jump on it quite literally. You're jumping off of a rock to attack it. And then finally, we tried a gas station was built to highlight the boar's destructiveness. Since it's cramped, the boar feels larger. We also felt trapped with it, though perhaps it is trapped with us. When it charges, it gets to us quickly, so we must be on our toes. This made it more aligned with Ellie's sort of hunting for trouble mindset. Listening became more important, as well as moving around slowly so it didn't hear you. Could you spot it before it saw or heard you? And could you get a shot off quickly enough so you could dodge out of the way? Or is the shot worth the cost? If at the end of the fight, Ellie would likely have a chance to win, the ball would burst through the back, and Ellie would follow it and finally enact revenge.
Keinen kommen.
The boar kill was supposed to be anything to put the show to it, with the boar whimpering at the back of the gas station.
Weiß nicht, was passiert ist. Ich sollte sie zu den Fireflies bringen und dann gehen. zusammen das halbe Land durchquert. Sie suchte nach einer Bedeutung für ihre Immunität. Irgendwann habe ich selbst an diese Heilung geglaubt. Vielleicht wollte ich sie nicht hängen lassen. Dann kamen wir an. Bei den Fireflies. Durch sie hätten sie tatsächlich ein Heilmittel entwickelt. Aber dabei wäre sie gestorben. Gütiger Gott.
Was machst du hier drin? Du kannst sie nicht mitnehmen. Es geht um die Zukunft. Denk an die Leben, die wir retten. Scheiße, Mann, Joel. Was hast du gemacht?
Sie gerettet. Ich bring dich raus, Kleine. Ich hab dich. Ich hab dich. Hinter die Augen. Lass mich Scheiße.
Verdammt. Das ist... wirklich krass. Wie viel weiß Ellie?
Sie glaubt, es waren nur Tests und ihre Immunität bedeutet nichts.
Das hat sie geglaubt?
Sie hat's so hingenommen.
Wir sollten zurück.
Los.
Schon okay, ich mach das. Geh schon.
Sicher?
Ja.
Okay.
Was wir vorhin besprochen haben. Ich hätte es wohl genauso gemacht. Ich nehme es mit ins Grab, wenn es sein muss.
Bis später, Tommy.
Hallo? Ellie?
Scheiße. Mann, hast du mich gerade erschreckt?
Ich habe geklopft, aber...
Hey,
Hey,
was ist denn, Joel?
ich schau noch mal rein. Die Leute... Sie reden davon, wie beeindruckt sie sind. Von dir und wie gut du hier hilfst.
Ist doch schön.
Ja. Tommy und ich sind neulich ausgeritten. Und er erzählte einen Witz und ich dachte an dich. Oh Mist, ich hab's vergessen. Irgendwas mit einer Uhr. Was ist der...
Joel, es ist ziemlich spät. Und ich muss in ein paar Stunden
Ja,
aufstehen.
ich weiß. Ich lass dich gleich in Ruhe. Ich wollte nur... Ich will dir etwas zeigen. Gib mir nur eine Sekunde.
Was ist das?
Eine Sekunde, das ist schon längst vorbei.
Manche nennen das hier Gitarre.
Lustig.
Soll ich was spielen?
Okay.
Okay. Versprich mir, dass du nicht lachst.
Werde ich nicht. Ehrlich.
Ich verlasse mich drauf.
Oh Junge, warum bin ich so müde, Mann?
'cause I believe. And I believe 'cause I can see our future days. Days of you and me. So, das war's.
Naja, gar nicht mal so übel.
Na, das ist doch schon was. Sie gehört dir.
Nein, ich habe doch keine Ahnung.
Ich habe versprochen, es dir beizubringen.
Hast du.
Na, was sagst du? Morgen Abend? Erste Stunde?
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Weißt du den Witz wieder?
Warum sollte man keine Uhr essen? Es verschlingt Zeit.
Das ist dämlich.
Träum schön.
Scheiße. Verdammt. Hey.
Morgen.
Sorry, ich habe total verschlafen. Gib mir eine Minute, ich zieh mich schnell an.
War wohl noch ganz schön was los, als ich weg war.
Sie hat mich geküsst. Das war einfach nur typisch Dina. Es hatte nichts zu bedeuten.
Ich meinte eigentlich deinen Streit mit Seth. Warte. Du und Dina?
Oh. Ich dachte, dass...
Sie sind eine Woche getrennt und du machst dich an sie ran?
Nein. Sie wollte dich bestimmt nur eifersüchtig machen. Ich würde echt nie... Oh, fuck, ist das peinlich.
Ich zieh dich nur auf, Mann. Es ist mir egal. Zieh dich an.
Oh, du bist so ein Idiot.
Schon eine schräge Nummer von dir. Hab dein Zeug zusammen, wir sind schon spät dran.
Riecht okay. So müde. Okay. Ja.
Ich weiß nicht, was sie da drin hat. Ich hoffe, The Last of Us Part 1 auf der PlayStation 3.
Hey, ist Joe wach?
Im Norden wurden Infizierte gesichtet. Maria hat ihn und Tommy früh losgeschickt.
Oh, scheiße.
Ja, aber bestimmt nicht lang geschlafen. Jedenfalls nicht so lang wie du.
Klappe. Wollte gerade aufstehen. Wirklich.
Hast du alles?
Ja.
Pass auf, du bist heute Morgen das Stadtgespräch.
Was?
Habe ich das richtig verstanden? Du hast Dina geküsst.
Sie hat mich geküsst.
Und deshalb nannte es heftig, was nicht so nett ist.
Yep.
Joel ihn geschlagen?
Eher geschubst.
Und dann warst du sauer auf Joel. Den Teil raff ich nicht.
War eine schräge Nacht, Mann.
Klingt aufregend.
Hey, also... Alles okay bei uns?
Bei dir und mir? Ja, natürlich. Das mit Dina ist vorbei.
Ich weiß, ich will nur nicht, dass du denkst...
Alles cool. Versprochen.
Danke.
An der 191. Wir haben wahrscheinlich genug für
Hey. Ja, lass dich kraulen.
Hey.
Hier gerade nicht. Jesse, keine Ahnung.
Hey, Jesse.
Oh, hi.
Ja, danke für die Schaum. Kenn ich nicht durch. Ja. Da fehlt noch was da. Ja, mir fehlt doch alles. Ja. Wahrscheinlich, Digga. Wahrscheinlich. Brudi.
Willst du was frühstücken?
Nein. Wo ist Maria?
Hey.
Entschuldigung.
Ellie, komm bitte mal her.
Seth möchte dir etwas sagen.
Ich will nicht hören, was dieser Heuchler zu sagen hat.
Tu es für mich. Bitte.
Na schön.
Seth, komm her.
Scheiße.
Hey. Okay. Letzte Nacht habe ich habe zu viel getrunken.
Klar.
Ich versuche mich zu entschuldigen. Maria hat gesagt, dass du mit Dina losziehst. Ich habe hier ein paar Sandwiches.
Okay.
Mit Steak.
Danke, Seth.
Ja, also passt auf euch auf.
Yep.
Ich weiß das zu schätzen.
Was hast du da?
Heuchler-Sandwiches.
Riecht gut.
Gehören dir.
Sicher?
Sicher.
Ich bringe euch raus.
Okay.
Heuschlag-Sandwiches. Geil.
Wenn du rausgehst, möchte ich, dass du Tommy und Joel ablöst. Die Jungs sind schon viel zu lange da oben.
Wo treffe ich sie?
Geh zum Posten im Nordwesten, da sollten sie heute noch hinkommen. Sei vorsichtig. In letzter Zeit wurden sehr viele Infizierte gesichtet.
Na klar. Ich wollte mir die Bachpfade vornehmen. Das müsste dann jemand anders übernehmen.
Kennst du die Bachpfade?
Nicht gut.
Die lag schon oft dort. Dann übernehmt ihr beide das.
Das wäre geklärt.
Erstmal ein paar Schrauben und so klauen. Das ist am besten. Ja, das. Die. Ellie, bist du ein Puller? Puller.
Kurz Zeit für mich?
Nein. Warte nicht.
Ich weiß nicht, was mit dir und Joel los ist.
Maria.
Du bist ihm sehr wichtig. Und er wollte bestimmt nicht das.
Alles okay.
Ja?
Ja.
Okay? Okay. Dann entschuldige. Pass auf.
Mach ich.
Hey Dina, es gibt Arbeit.
Gib mir eine Minute.
Bringst du deine Freundin bitte zu den Stellen?
Hey, Dina. Können wir reden?
Hey, Leute, ich bin raus. Ach Mann, wie lange?
Wie lange? 300 Jahre.
Hey. Tut mir leid, dass ich gestern einfach abgehauen bin.
Oh, kein Problem. Ich verstehe das. Ich fühle mich nur mies.
Wie? Eine Stunde noch was.
Warum?
Weil ich schuld an dem Ganzen war.
Dauert mir zu lang. Tschüss, ja?
Ich komm gleich rüber und zeig's dir, aber echt.
Oh, okay. Na, ich krieg's gesagt.
Nimm das.
Daneben. Nein. Ich seh dich. Gefällt dir das? Ja, ich meine... Oh, verdammt.
Ich weiß, wo du wohnst, Alex.
Oh, versteck dich lieber.
Schnee. So Schnee hinhauen.
Schnee, du Zwerg. Wir gewinnen.
Ich seh dich. Au. Woher kannst du das?
Nicht fair. Na, wie war das? Hey. Wollt ihr noch mehr? Oh, Taxi. Damit kommt ihr nicht davon.
Okay, na los, wir haben noch Arbeit vor uns.
Oh, Mann.
Bin wohl selber schuld, was?
Hier. Gehen wir.
Jesse will, dass wir die Bachpfade nehmen. Er löst Joel und Tommy.
Oh, schön, dass ihr uns losgeschickt hat. Mir wird die Strecke gefallen.
Guten Morgen.
Morgen.
Hey, Ladies. Ich bringe Sie rein.
Danke.
Irgendwas. Aha. Teton, grauen Haare. Ja, nimm doch.
Schau, wer da kommt.
Danke. Na los.
Schlief.
Hey, Schimmer.
Oh, Junge, muss ich gerade pinkeln, Junge. Oh Gott.
Ah, sieh an, wen haben wir denn da?
Ja, ja, ja.
Einmal für dich. Und einmal für dich. Öffnet das Tor! Ganz ruhig, Kinder.
Dort mit sagen. Oh, nee, jetzt nur mit Abby. Ich will morgen. Was? Ich mag keinen Bock habe.
Hier lang.
Ja, das. Link kopieren. Genau, das steht schon. Zu lange. So, hier. Ich speichere mal eine Runde.